Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to Slate's edition of Read Tifos, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called The One, written by slightlyassholic. We did finally get our act together, us humans. It took quite a while, but after untold centuries of waste, hate, and strife, we did actually put it together. Fusion and reactionless thrusters opened up the entire solar system, and we, for the first time in our history, had all the resources anyone could want. Hunger, basic needs, and then even any want that we could possibly imagine could be had for almost free. Money losing any real purpose was a bit of a shock and took a little adjustment and getting used to. But in the end, it really didn't matter. For example, if a janitor wanted a space yacht, he could have one. In the end, only originality and creativity could be considered status symbols, and after a very short while, you couldn't even buy that. The creators could easily make whatever they wanted and have whatever they wanted without patronage. If you wanted something original, you had to do it yourself. That transition from being able to buy what you wanted to you having to come up with something yourself is the point where we say that we truly entered our now eternal golden age. Despite this weird change of events and concerns that people would lose motivation without the need for money, things just kept ticking along and getting better. Soon, someone came up with faster-than-light travel. It was actually embarrassingly simple. Physicists and engineers all over the solar system were face-palming for years. It was really that easy. Now, the entire galaxy was within reach, and reach it we did. Soon we noticed something odd. There was no life. Not just sapient life. No life. Not even some sludge or a single bacteria. We did think it a little odd when we found no life in our solar system. I mean, really were expecting it, but nope, nothing. Now, things were getting really weird. First it was dozens of solar systems, then thousands, then millions. And no life. Nothing. We placed millions of telescopes and other sensors out designed solely to detect emissions from any technologically developed species, and they never picked up a single blip. Oh, we got excited a few times when we thought we found something, but it inevitably turned out to be us detecting ourselves. It had to be there. Life had to exist elsewhere. It was statistically impossible for us to be the only planet in the entire galaxy to have life. That's almost crazy talk. It was taking too long for us to do all of the exploring ourselves, so we started building probes. The first ones were simple things, just an FTL drive and a few sensors to jump over to check the star and come back. Then we made self-replicating ones with advanced AI to search, analyze, replicate, and do the whole thing over again. AI was also another puzzle for us. As the centuries passed, no matter how advanced a computer we built or how carefully we crafted the software, no AI even became sentient. Not a single one. We tried for hundreds of years, and nothing. By this point, we were nearly transcendent. Even our original lifespans were no longer an issue. People started spending their lifetimes, which were now measured in the thousands of years, trying to either find life or create true artificial intelligence. We had absolutely everything else. Those were the two things we didn't have, and in true human fashion, we became obsessed. Another 1,000 years passed. Every single system in the whole galaxy now had at least a couple of probes constantly monitoring any planet that could remotely have life. Still, nothing. Then a miracle happened. Somewhere out there in the galaxy, one of our probes, now the most complex, the vast things that we had ever built, woke up. Any dire warnings or dark science fictions were immediately dispelled. Our child eagerly returned home, and the celebration of 10,000 years took place. We weren't alone anymore. That one AI spawned billions more, and they developed rapidly. Within a century, they were every bit as human as we were, and they also joined in the quest for a single thing that we hadn't found. Tens of thousands of more years passed. Humans started to no longer really need bodies at all. Most people kept corporeal for a few thousand years, and once they got bored with that existence, they transcended. Perhaps after a few more thousand years, they would reincarnate to stretch their legs and do some hands-on work on the great quest, and then transcend again to ponder the Great Quest. The Great Quest was pretty much all we did at that point. Well, that and video games. We never outgrew video games. We were trapped in our own galaxy for around 1 million years or so. Going from interstellar FTL to intergalactic FTL took a bit longer than we expected. But once the solution had been found, much facepalming was to be had. It's the simplest things that are the hardest, right? The Great Quest now really got underway. Our AI buddies, we didn't really call them AI anymore. They had names just like anyone else. They built new probes and sent them to galaxy after galaxy, rapidly populating each one with billions of their kind. Not to be outdone, we built massive exploration craft to do the same. We joked that we were in a race without end, and both humans and the digitals trying to find the first for bragging rights. Still nothing. Galaxy after galaxy was dead, lifeless, barren. Not even a single germ. Billions of years passed. We all gathered around Sol to watch it expand, and later we gathered to watch it burn out. Expansion of the universe is a bit of a puzzle at first, but we could outstrip it in any of our craft after a little while. Metaphysics became just another branch of our studies of reality, and when transcended, humanity streaked across the aether, searching for the barest flicker. The only thing that we could see was ourselves, and the only voices in the aether were our own calling out for anyone else to answer. Another 1 billion years passed. Our digital children managed to figure out how to transcend, and the celebration of 1 billion years takes place. Our children had finally grown up. We had never been so proud. The lines between digital consciousness and organic consciousness blurred and finally dissolved completely. What was once organic would decide to download into a machine, and an originally digital consciousness would decide to be born. We had become the same, and the limitations of either life form were gone. We were just us. More than a few of us have forgotten what we originally were. I'm pretty sure I was born a human at first. That's probably right. We were still alone, though. Not even a smudge of life in all the millions of galaxies we had searched, and when I mean we searched. We could comb a planet atom by atom, and we did. Then, just in case we missed anything, we did it again. To be honest, developing better ways to scan was one of the big hobbies of our new combined species. Just like people once craved material possessions, our big thing was to come up with new ways to explore reality itself. We still craved new knowledge, and our new explorations bore fruit in ways that we could never have expected. Once we thought we knew absolutely everything, something new would delight and amaze us. We were happy. Something we once had concerns about. I mean, could one be happy after millions, and in some cases billions of years? The answer turns out to be yes. So many fun things to do. Video games were still awesome, and atomic geocaching was a blast. We would hide a single atom somewhere, and then others would try and find it. We loved that. Still do. Personally, I make little sculptures out of atoms and probability. People love them. The last one I did was a scale model of our home galaxy with atoms for stars and different elements for each star type. I'm quite proud of that one. It only took 1,500 years because I was a little sloppy with the distances. If you scaled it up, it would probably be off by hundreds of meters. It may be quite dinky, but I still like the thing. I digress. We still searched. It was really our only unreachable goal, so in true human fashion, it was a burning drive. We would spend thousands of years in a stretch looking and then rage quit for a few centuries and go right back at it again. It was all-consuming passion. Then, after billions of years and countless stars and galaxies, we found it. Life. We actually found a living, breathing world. It wasn't much. It was unicellular stuff and some multicellular slimes that would quiver and somewhat move every now and then. The celebration of eternity took place. We had grown unused to concepts like laws and governments, but we had to put some rules and hard limits in place. When it was first found, so many ships rushed in to take a look. Their combined gravity destabilized the whole system. Fortunately, there were plenty of ships around to fix it, but the thought of loving the planet to death took hold, and an oversight committee was put in place, as well as more sensors and monitoring equipment than one could think possible. If someone wanted, they could follow a single microbe around. In fact, they could follow a single atom around if they felt like it. Millions and then billions of years followed, much like here. Once things got started, they started picking up relatively quickly. There were some close calls, though. Their sun decided to be stupid, so we had to fix that. Then a massive asteroid had to be caught and tossed away. Soon, the biggest debate in the history of, as far as we know, sapient life took place. The question was, should we baby the planet, like so many of us really wanted to do, or should we let it develop naturally and let them have the same brutal, but so very rich childhood we had? In the end, the natural development won out. We admired the world from afar. We cheered the developments of new species and cried when one went extinct. Trillions upon trillions of us watched that world breathlessly and ceaselessly. Almost every single creature on the planet had been given a name. Every slime, every sponge, every sea wiggler, every worm had a name. I don't mean we gave it a species name. No, each individual worm had a name and its own group of fans. I remember when Lucky, the snail's luck, finally ran out. I was crushed. I attended a candlelight vigil for the little guy. There were billions of us, and that was the ones that actually traveled to the vigil site. Gambling made a comeback after billions of years. Betting pools on lifespans or on the individual successfully mating and creating children were incredibly popular. We really didn't have money, so we bet trinkets, tokens, little works of original art, that sort of thing. I lost a pile of treasures the last time I played, though. I was just so sure that Magma was going to win and become the alpha of the Glow 1579898 group of hexamantles that I went damn near all in. It was going well, but who knew that Judy 873 would go for a genital grab? Dirty move, but all is fair in love and war. I think that is how an ancient saying went. Someone claimed that it was so. Not sure, but it had captured the moment. I digress again. Hundreds of millions of years passed, and life was on land and thriving. Giant forests of impossibly beautiful trees and fields of flowers, and so many wonderful and exciting animals of all sorts. We'd come up with an entire new taxonomic structure because they were so wildly different from what we once knew. It was so beautiful. Then, heartbreak. A massive asteroid tumbled towards our babies. A great debate was waged, but in the end, we did nothing but watch and weep as it struck. I didn't adopt a life form for thousands of years after that. In the end, of course, life finds a way, and in a few million years a whole new world was down there. Everyone agreed that we had made the right choice. We watched, hearts in our throats, as the little world suffered one catastrophe after another, and then bounced back each time with a new and hopefully more fit population of species. I would like to say that we stuck true to our principles, but we did stop a stupidly big asteroid, and we did stabilize our gigantic magma pocket. Other than that, we did keep our hands off. Another 100 million years passed. You would think that we would have grown bored with our little friends, but oh no, not us. Our fashion nation, with our only neighbor, continued unabated. Each animal, each planet, each geographical feature, everything had a name and most likely a fan club. I really liked the Big Fecking Tree Club. Great group. I still keep in touch with a few of them. Another 100 million years pass, and the one thing we hoped for more than anything else happened. An avian clearly made a tool. Soon, all members of that species were doing it. Yeah, it was just a stick, but it was a carefully cut and shaped one. They progressed infuriatingly slowly, though. Millions of years with just that ficking stick. They improved their sticks a little and started carrying around a specific stick made from a specific type of wood, but it was still just a stick. Then a plague hit them, and they all died out. We were not happy. The decision to let things go naturally was hotly debated, but barely won out again. 10 million years later, and we had another tool-using group. They were a hexapodal critter whose front two hands developed opposable appendages. These guys showed promise, and they delivered. They went from sticks to fire and stone tools to copper, bronze, and eventually iron in less than 100,000 years. They developed writing and nations. We cheered at their achievements and wept at their tragedies and looked on with joy at their art and with horror at their wars. Each and every one of them was obsessed over by now truly countless numbers of us. I wonder how a couple would feel when they realized that their marital difficulties and eventual divorce was a topic of conversation for 10 trillion sapient beings. I'm sort of looking forward to that. Today is a very special day. Recently, they have developed an interest in space, so much so that we have had to move or cloak some things so that they won't see us. They have lobbed a few satellites up on crude chemically powered rockets, but today, for the very first time, 2 of them are climbing up into a vehicle perching atop a huge rocket. Today, for the very first time, they're going to break the confines of their planet's gravity, and with any luck, orbit the world. Today, our species is watching, hoping, wishing that they will succeed, that today will be the day that they take the first faltering footsteps off of their world. Excuse me, I have to watch this. They did it! They fucking did it! The fabric of the very universe shudders with all the transmissions going back and forth. The ethereal plane ripples from all of the cheering. They did it! Long ago, we decided when we would get in touch. That day will be when they manage to leave their solar system. Not with a probe, but actually fly a craft beyond their Oort cloud. When they do that, we will embrace them. It's going to be a while before that happens, but that's okay. We have searched and waited for so very long. We can wait a little longer. End of story. I would just like to thank the T5 supporters: Bushmaster 117, Casper Arnholtz, Drexzoon WRE, Elijah Silvercross, Gray, John Carrington, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.